Hey guys, Dave here from iOgrapher. So I had a user ask me, how can I do my live streams or my recordings with two lines of audio coming in, but I also need to have the battery life, longer than it is on the normal iPad or iPhone. So I went to my awesome Facebook group and we started asking questions and they came up with some great answers, and I'm going to show you what the decision was and what accessory we're going to use to capture great audio and keep the battery alive today on iOgrapher TV. Okay, so I have a couple of projects coming up where I'm going to be doing some live streaming and stuff like that. So I really want to be able to have multiple lines of audio coming in, but I also need battery life. And of course, on iPads I can go in through my headphone jack and things like that, but what if I'm using the new iPhones, or what if I don't want to use the headphone jack, I'm using something different? So let me just show you some workflows that I like to do and that I recently discovered myself. So I'm super excited about this. I have a big event coming up in a week where I'm going to be giving people two of these microphones, the Rode TXM2s, connected to, of course, the wireless Rode transmitter. And I'm going to need two of those to come in to the iPad so that we can get two lines of audio. And then I'm also going to want to monitor the audio as well. So very simple. And where did I put that? I'm going to be using, for this particular workflow, and I'll tell you why in a minute, the Rode SC6. Now, they did come out with the new SC6L, which I absolutely love and adore, but for some reason, this workflow is not working with this particular device, and you'll see more in a second. I recently was told in our Facebook group to take a look at this Belkin. It's called the Belkin Lightning Audio Plus Charge Rockstar, which is a really interesting name. And I thought I had tried this a while ago and nothing really worked, but I thought I would give it a go again. And it's this little white dongle here. And the theory is, here's two Lightning into one Lightning, and you should be able to bring in microphones here and make it all work together, and also charging here. So I'm going to, here I've got Filmic Pro going, and down here is my green charge. So I'm fully charged right now, but we should see a little lightning bolt there. And then we're going to check out and make sure the audio is all working. So first thing I did was I plugged this in to the lightning, am I on the right side? Yeah, the lightning jack here. Let me just make sure I can see this. There we go. So that's plugged into the lightning jack. I'll move this over, actually this way a little bit. So I got that plugged in. Then, for some reason, I tried to use the Rode to go in there, the SC6L, the lightning one, and it wasn't picking up the audio. I don't know why. I'm going to try and check out with Rode. But luckily they have the SC6 that plugs into the audio cable jack that Apple gives you on your iPhone. Also, you can pick them up at Apple stores or on iographer.com. I think they're like $9. So then when I plugged this in and had my two lines of audio and my headphones, I was able to make it all work. So we're going to plug that one in here. And now we've got these going on. So then I'm going to jump into my settings here, for example, and we'll go into audio. And right now it's saying microphone top. But let's plug in, and this is alive right there. I don't know if you can see that. Let me see if you should be able to see the numbers there. So that's working right now. So I'm going to plug this in to the SC6L. And now it's changed to headset microphone. So if you guys can see that, it says headset microphone here now. So now I've got this connected. I could also plug in, more microphones if I wanted to. I'm just going to throw in this this Rode Video Micro. We're going to plug that in. And then that's plugged in, and it still says that. And if I tap on this, you'll see the waveforms, or the levels bar here. And you can see that. And if I tap on this little microphone here, you should see the levels bounce. So we're connected to audio here. So that's all perfect and great, but now what about having the electricity, the battery, sorry. How are we going to do that? So here's an Anker battery. I love Anker batteries. They're really well done batteries. So I'm going to plug in the Anker battery to this, and then we'll get out of this for a second. I'm just going to press the button once, and you see that that's charging. And I guess it's not really showing on this because we're fully charged, but if I log out here, you can see here that we've got the little charge icon there. So we are now charging, and we've got 2 lines of audio in. And I'll just go back here, and we're still connected. So we've got our audio going, we can monitor audio, and we've got our charge going on here. So this is, I'm just going to unplug this for a second, but this is the workflow. I'll unplug these microphones for a second, and the battery. So this is the Belkin, once again. This is the Belkin Lightning Audio Plus Charge Rockstar. This plugs into the lightning jack of your device. Then you should have one of these if you have any of the new iPhones. So you're going to want this part. It's the Apple audio cable, lightning audio cable. And then this is the Rode SC6L that you can pick up at iOgrapher.com. I'm sorry, this is the Rode SC6. This is the Rode SC6L. We're not talking about that one. This is the original Rode SC6. And this is going to plug in right there. It allows you to have 2 lines of audio in and monitor the audio. And then that's going to plug into one of those ports. And then the other port's going to be the Lightning audio adapter. So it's all working great. I can't wait to test this out next week. I've actually tested it already. I've used it on Filmic Pro. I've used it with Switcher Studio to go live to Facebook. I've tried it with the Apple camera. So it works great with all of these. I highly recommend it if you're doing long events. You know, if you got football games and you have audio coming in, you should definitely take a look at things like this. Or any type of sporting events, because they're pretty long and your battery can wear down. And the cool thing is you just keep rolling and you can switch out batteries. You don't have to turn anything off. So this is a super cool workflow. Once again, the Belkin Lightning Audio Plus Rockstar Charge Rockstar. This is available on Amazon.com, and I'll put the link below. And it's super cool little thing here. So I'm impressed by it, and it worked great. Once again, this is the audio adapter from Apple, and this is the Rode SC6, the original one. Plugs right in, plugs into the Belkin, plug in your charge right here, and now you've got great audio and power coming in. I'm Dave Basulto. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next week at iOgrapher TV.